What this means now is, of course, Comey walks free, Letitia James walks free. They can, however, be re-indicted. But the problem specifically when it comes to James Comey is that the Trump Department of Justice, mainly Pam Bondi, of course, who's completely incompetent, decided to wait until there were just 4 days left on the statute of limitations for this before indicting James Comey. Now that he's gone through the indictment process and ultimately had this original indictment thrown out because of procedural errors, they can re-indict him, but that can very likely be thrown out now too, because guess what? The statute of limitations has ended. The Trump Department of Justice had their chance and they blew it. And it gets even worse than that, because the ultimate top story of today's episode is that there is possibly a mole in the Trump Department of Justice. And I got to emphasize the word possibly. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but there's a lot of shady stuff happening internally there. And this photo right here actually might contain the person who's the mole. And no, it's not actually Lindsay Halligan pictured in the middle, nor is it actually Pam Bondi, who is the ultimate do-nothing attorney general. But it very likely could be Todd Blanche. Now, some people are going to cry that I'm using Gateway Pundit as a source, especially if they're a liberal viewer. You know, that's a far-right source, right? They're completely unreliable. Well, I'm going to use it anyway because it's revealing what could be a very interesting story if it's true. A federal grand jury in Maryland is investigating whether Department of Justice official Ed Martin and Federal Housing Director Bill Pulte improperly appointed individuals to assist in investigating mortgage fraud allegations against Adam Schiff and others. According to MS Now, formerly MSNBC, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is overseeing the investigation. Democrat Senator Adam Schiff is under investigation for mortgage fraud, specifically occupancy fraud. The criminal referral submitted to the DOJ by Housing Director Bill Pulte accused Schiff of falsifying bank documents and property records over a period of 16 years in order to score more favorable mortgage terms and rates. And so the Trump DOJ is literally holding up the Trump DOJ. Todd Blanche, rather than assisting Ed Martin and Bill Pulte into this Adam Schiff mortgage fraud investigation, has decided that he should investigate Ed Martin and Bill Pulte because they might not be doing everything by the book. And I gotta say this. Do you think when Democrats have power like this that they're concerned about doing everything by the book? The answer is, of course not. That's how they managed to get these trumped up charges on President Donald Trump. 34 felonies. You have to hear the Democrats always tout out. All bullshit felonies, by the way. And that's what the Democrats do. And they play the game so well. But when the shoe's on the other foot and it comes to the Republicans, what do? They get in each other's way constantly. And what is Todd Blanche doing? I mean, so much has gone wrong with the Trump Department of Justice. The James Comey incident. Why did the statute of limitations nearly expire on that? Do you know why they indicted James Comey and got him for lying to Congress? It wasn't because Pam Bondi or Todd Blanche decided we need to do something now before the limitations run out. It was because someone tipped off President Donald Trump at the time and told him, hey, you want to get Comey, right? Statute of limitations is running out in 4 days. Your DOJ has done nothing. And Trump went off on social media about this. And then you see the indictment for lying to Congress on Comey brought. Of course, he was allowed to walk into the courtroom as a free man and leave, by the way, after entering a plea. And now it's been tossed out anyway. Surprise, surprise. But then on top of it, Letitia James thrown out. This whole appointment of Lindsay Halligan that created a procedural error. Now you got to ask the question, why was that done in error? Was it done on purpose or on accident? Is it incompetence or is there something bigger happening in the Trump Department of Justice? Is there a mole? Could that mole be Todd Blanche? Why else would he be going after Trump's own people who are trying to bring justice on behalf of the American people? Why else is this happening? No wonder they can't get anything done, though. And then to make matters worse, at least according to this poll here, which is a small sample size of 510 votes I put up on my community page, should Trump fire Pam Bondi, who's overseeing this entire disaster of a Trump Department of Justice, by the way? Only 39% of voters currently say yes, 290 days and no arrests, while 61% of people who voted on this insist that she's doing an amazing job. I kid you not. So I made this community post and I stated, hey, leave your comments down below on Pam Bondi's job as the Attorney General. If you're going to defend her, leave a comment. If you think she's done a terrible job, leave a comment. And I'll discuss it all on my YouTube channel on a video. And that's what I'm about to do right here. and I haven't taken the time to read any of them yet. So I'm going to read them through and see what people are saying about this. Thanoyer says, Pam would just be replaced by another drone, so what's the point? User Thanoyer also says, it's a case of the blind leading the deaf. That's actually a solid point right there. Pam Bondi is blind, and Trump has been very tone deaf lately. We have Mike Furby 9090. Yes, get someone that's going to start arresting these scumbag traitors instead of talking about it. Agreed. Sith Lord 7282. Time for her to go. She's had long enough to produce results. All she's done is offer excuses. Robert Cummins 7739. They are colluding together. This is obvious. She has undermined the office she holds. Government is for the people, not a wannabe dictator or corporations. That statement, I, at this point, couldn't agree with more. I genuinely think that this is deliberate incompetence on Pam Bondi's part, and I think she's complicit at this point. And if it turns out that Todd Blanche is actively working against the interests of the Trump administration, he's Pam Bondi's deputy attorney general. He reports directly to her. This is not good. And this is why Trump's approval rating with the youth is plummeting. The youth were promised a dictator. And believe it or not, that is what they want, at least to some degree. It's not like Trump isn't already referred to as a dictator by Democrat voters anyway. They literally think the worst of him as it is. So why continue to play softball with people who think you're a fascist? If Trump was just 10% as bad of a guy as Democrats say he is, so much would be better about America right now. So much more would be getting done. But people voted in Trump for immigration, a better economy, and for justice. Just like in his first term, he ran off draining the swamp. And the problem is, it's not getting drained. Justice is not being had, and it really upsets the youth. Glenn W1Z says there will be no arrest and no prosecutions under Pam Bondi. She is and has been all talk. Keystone Liberty 1776 says, just goes to show you can't rely on a woman to do a man's job. This chick doesn't like to get her hands dirty with anything. She is all about the tough talk and no action. And a big shout out to Keystone Liberty, one of the best viewers on this channel. He's been a loyal viewer. Appreciate you, man. And I agree with you once again. Give us a Tom Homan personality type mofo. Stick him in there and watch the results pour in. Unlike Pam Bondi, who seems more focused on doing her makeup for her 28th Fox News appearance this year. It's a disgrace. Now, under the actual poll itself, I did manage to find one person who adamantly white knighted for Pam Bondi. And my suspicions on who out there is voting in favor of Pam Bondi has been pretty much proven with this comment right here I'm about to read. Robert B5N8C says, Pamela, most men in the world would fight for you, and backed by women. We love our White House girls and no harm to them ever. And so that confirms to me what I originally thought. The 61% of people on my poll, on my page, voted in favor of her because they are crusty old boomers who probably jerk off to Pam Bondi every single night. That's really what that comes down to. Anybody with a brain who's paying attention knows Pam Bondi is the most incompetent attorney general ever. She's done nothing. If you enjoyed that clip, be sure to check out my YouTube channel where I have the full video where this clip was taken from published. And if you're America First like I am and you're an American advocate, be sure to subscribe and like the post. Thanks so much for watching.